Hello and welcome to the latest update of the sugarcane rainfall outlook for far north and northern sugarcane districts. This briefing covers the regions from around Mossman south to Ingham and inland to the Atherton Tablelands. First, we'll look into how the Access S model verified for rainfall over the month of May before touching on June rainfall to date. We'll then cover short-term weather watch points before seeing what the rainfall outlooks have in store over the coming months, and then finish with a quick tour of the Climate Services for Agriculture website. So a look into the Access S model performance over the month of May. On the left, we have the observed rainfall. In the middle, that rainfall converted to percentiles to match the climate outlook forecast colour scale. And on the right, the Access S rainfall outlook for May. The forecast was for neutral odds for Mossman south to Cairns, with below average odds of median rainfall south of Cairns and west over the Tablelands. And what we observed during May was below average rainfall right across the region, looking at those red and orange colours in that central image, with very much below average rainfall for the Herbert catchment and the northern Tablelands with those darker red shades, and around 10 to 25% of the mean rainfall received for that region in May. So a respectable effort by the model from Cairns and southwards, but it didn't strongly suggest the below average rainfall, which eventuated further north around Mossman. On to rainfall so far during June, and we've seen totals broadly around 150 to 200 millimetres through Babinda, Innisfail and Tully. Further south for the Herbert Valley, broadly 40 to 100 millimetres through there. So for those regions already mentioned, well above average conditions, as we can see looking at the blue dots on the right, showing they've already comfortably exceeded the average June rainfall with a week still to go. For the Tablelands, 50 to 100 millimetres across the southern Tablelands for Malanda and south, though further north for Atherton, Walkerman and Mareeba have all recorded less than 10 millimetres so far. So near average rainfall for the southern Tablelands to well below average rainfall in the north, continuing the dry spell they've been experiencing up there. Looking ahead to the short-term forecast, and here we have the 7-day rainfall accumulations to 10 p.m. next Friday, the 30th of June. Fairly light showers expected through that time, with 10 to 25 millimetres for the Mossman region, 5 to 10 millimetres expected for Tully and Innisfail, and less than 5 millimetres for Ingham over the next week. Here we have the chance of exceeding 25 millimetres of rainfall over the next fortnight, broken down into week-long periods. You can access these maps on the link provided, and you can choose from a number of rainfall thresholds on the website between 1 millimetre and 700 millimetres, and they are updated daily with the latest model data. On the left, week 1 covers from the 25th of June to the 1st of July, and we can see a 25 to 50% chance of exceeding 25 millimetres around the Mossman region, increasing to 25 to 50% odds around Innisfail and Tully, and dropping to below 10% for the Ingham region and much of the Tablelands. For week 2, between the 2nd of July to the 8th of July, slightly wetter signature with 25 to 50% odds for most of the region, dropping to below 10% for the Ingham region and the northern Tablelands. Looking at the July rainfall outlook now, with above average odds of 55 to 65% for exceeding the median rainfall for South Johnston and northwards up to Mossman, with decreasing odds further south, lowering to 35 to 45% around Ingham. The model skill during July is around 55 to 65% for the region between South Johnston up to Cairns, lowering to 50 to 55% for other areas, so not much of an edge over climatology. This translates into an about equal chance of seeing rainfall close to the historical median for the month, as we can see from this comparison of the 50% chance of at least chart on the left with the historical median map on the right, both looking very similar. Breaking down the July rainfall further here, with the high chance on the left, the 75% chance of receiving, and the lower chance totals on the right, the 25% chance of receiving, giving us an idea of the possible rainfall spread for the coming July. Moving on to the August outlook, and again a wetter signature with above average odds of 60 to 80% for exceeding the median rainfall for the month. The model skill during July is poor for regions north of Cairns, so for those areas you would be better off relying on climatology, but as you head further south from Cairns, the skill keeps increasing, reaching 65 to 75% accuracy for Ingham and the Herbert Valley. This translates into higher odds of seeing rainfall above the historical median for the month, as we can see from the higher values in the 50% chance of at least chart on the left when compared to the historical median map for August on the right. breaking the rainfall odds down further for August with the high chance on the left, the 75% chance of receiving, and the lower chance totals on the right, the 25% chance of receiving, to give us an idea of the potential rainfall spread for the month. So for Innisfail, Tully and Babinda, 50 to 200 millimetres, Mossman, 25 to 100 millimetres, and Ingham around 5 to 50 millimetres. A quick snapshot of the long-term rainfall outlook for August to October as a whole. We see a high 65 to 80% chance of exceeding the median rainfall across most of the region north of Cardwell, including the tablelands, and that lowers to around 55 to 65% odds through the southern parts between Ingham and Cardwell. The modelling is typically correct 55 to 65% of the time through this forecast period, with slightly lower skill of 50 to 55% further north around Mossman. Both Australian and international climate models are indicating the very strong likelihood that both a positive IOD event and an El Niño will both be underway during late winter and into spring. Here I'm showing a map of the mean rainfall deciles for the last 7 times we've seen both a positive IOD and an El Niño co-occurring. And that's since 1960, when reliable records for the IOD commenced. And when these two combine, it typically leads to drier than normal conditions for much of eastern Australia. However, we can see that dry influence doesn't typically affect the coastal locations between Ingham north to Cooktown to the same degree, with more neutral deciles of 4 to 6 across the region in past events of this nature, indicating the region received 40 to 60% of the mean rainfall under those combined regimes, which is a fairly neutral influence for your part of the world. We're still observing abnormally warm sea surface temperatures over the northern Coral Sea of the coast, and that is the climate influence most likely fueling the higher odds of exceeding the median rainfall in that longer term outlook that we saw on the previous slide. And to finish, a quick demo of the Climate Services for Agriculture website. It's a collaboration between the Bureau and CSIRO, funded by the Australian Government's Future Drought Fund, and it's being developed to help farmers adapt to climate variability and trends. You can find it at climateservicesforag.indraweb.io. The link is spelled out above, and that will take you to the homepage here, where you type in your location above the map, and once you've selected a location, press continue on the bottom right. There is a treasure trove of information to mine on this website, but today we're keeping to the seasonal rainfall outlook, so choosing this third column, the seasonal outlook on the right. This takes you to a fantastic rainfall display. On the top left, you can choose between monthly or seasonal options. So we're looking at the July outlook for Sherborne here, or you can flick to seasonal and get the 3-month outlook from July to September as well. So it's using the same data available on the Bureau Climate Outlook's website, but it's presented in an alternate format here for your point location, given the 75%, 50% and 25% chance of at least across the top there, with the skill level shown below in a star rating. On the bottom left, a detailed rainfall breakdown with chance of receiving at least for a number of rainfall thresholds, and on the right, a handy summary of the median rainfall, the rainfall received last July and the rainfall received over the past 3 months as well. It's in prototype stage. They are hungry for feedback, so if you have suggestions for what you'd like to see, there's a feedback option at the top of the page. That's it for this update. As always, check the latest forecasts and warnings on the Bureau's website or the BOM Weather app. Please send any feedback through to agriculture@bom.gov.au. We'd love to hear from you about ways we might improve this service. See you next Outlook. Thanks for listening.